Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. So, excuse my kid outside in the kitchen. Today is a holiday. Well, not a holiday, but teachers are having a meeting or something at the school, I guess. But, anyways, I'm drinking some hot tea. Thanks to Lydia. She got me a teapot. Lydia Smith. From the Timcast in real life. Okay, the podcast. So she got me like this teapot not too long ago, but she called it my care package because I moved not too long ago and I've been really homesick. And she is such a freaking sweetheart. So she brought me a bunch of stuff and she knew I drink a lot of tea. And that's what I do. And I'm drinking from her little teapot that she got me. It's super duper cute. But when the weather becomes when it's fall, my throat starts to hurt. I really want to just cuddle up and yeah. But I'm just going through a lot right at the moment, so I'm really stressed. But she got me some care package and some tea. Well, not tea, but she got me some ginger candy and stuff like that. So it was really nice of her to do so. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the fall and the weather sucks. Hey. It's almost the end of 2021, guys. I don't know if you guys are like me, but it's been a shitty year, y'all. Yeah, so, but anyways, see, my throat, is starting to feel a little bit better after I drink some hot ginger tea. Best tea. I drink some Earl Grey tea, but anyways, ranting over. So in this video, I want to talk about Ibram x Kendi. Let me give you guys a little bit of background information about him if you don't know who he is. If you're not a person who is in this culture war. Not in the culture war, but you guys are not aware of the Twitter world. So he is, let me go to the page. So Ibram Zolani Kendi. Is American Arthur professor, anti-racist activist, and historian of race and discriminatory policy in America. In July 2020, he assumed the position of director of... What the hell is a Zoom? Okay, but anyways. He assumed the position of director of the Center for Anti-Racist Research at Boston University. Kendi argues that policy outcomes are central in measuring and affecting racial equity. He has said, all along we've been trying to change people when really we need to change policies. When speaking in November 2020 to the Alliance for Early Success, Kendi was asked if that even means abiding racist behavior and attitudes, if it leads to winning an anti-racist policy. Kendi answered with a definite yes. I want things to change for millions of people, millions of children, as opposed to trying to change one individual person. So he's he used a lot of the jargon of some white colonizers adopted black children to civilize these savage children and the superior ways of white people, while using them as props in their lifelong pictures of denial, while cutting the biological parents of these children out of the picture of humanity. And where this is buried or not is not the point. It's believed that too many white people have, if they have or adopt a child of color, that then they can't be racist. So pretty much the argument that he's making. So Amy Coney Barrett, she is the judge, one of these Superior Court judge, the U.S. Supreme Court judges, and she was elected, and she adopted black children. And so I guess that because the fact that Amy Coney Barrett is white, therefore she's automatically racist. That's how these fucking people think, by the way, guys. Every white person is racist, no matter what you do. No matter if you donate to charity into the peoples of Africa, no matter if you donate to charities to the people of India, no matter what you do, if you're a white person, you're a racist inside within you. So... I don't know. That's to like summarize how this guy thinks. His remark was interpreted as criticizing interracial adoption, a substantial backlash against Kendi soon. He later said his comments were taken out of context, which is pretty much what the tweet that I'm going to be talking about, that's the argument that he makes, that he's taken out of context. So, anyways, I do have his, I don't know if I have his page. No, I don't. But anyways, so he's an American author, and ooh, look at that. The most addictive game. Some booty pics. Wow, that ad just popped out of nowhere. But anyways, that's pretty much the information that you that I can give you to summarize who he is, as much as I can. I mean, he wrote many successful books about how to be I think his most popular one is to be how to be an anti-racist. I don't this article it's pretty much sums it up for you guys. And so he, let me try to, there you go. I can't see because I have this, I'm recording on my phone at the moment. There's something that pops up right in front of my screen. You guys can't see it, but I can, or you can write. But anyways, so in this article, which was written in 2017, by the way, it's a Wednesday night at the bookstore in a well part of Washington, D.C., and every seat is taken. More than 100 people spill into the aisle crowds that crowd the stacks past the philosophy and cookbook section to hear Ibram X. Kendi talk about the racist ideas that founded the nation, about how racial progress is always followed by a new and more sophisticated racist progress. And especially about the deeply held belief that most Americans, including black people and liberal whites, woke up with this morning that they don't even know they are racist and wrong. For instance, black neighborhoods are not more dangerous than white neighborhoods, and neither are black people. Kendi tells the crowd, layers of racist ideas account for why we think so. Last year, the 35-year-old scholar became the youngest person to win the National Book Award for nonfiction in 30 years for Stamped from the Beginning, The Definite History of Racist Ideas in America. And this year, his moment continues. He's just moved to Washington, where he's launching the Anti-Racist Research and Policy Center at American University next week. He's a historian of racism at a time when our public conversation is fixed on it. When successive presidents have triggered the tribal apprehensions of our Mason-Dixie lines, and when the threat of a shoot you down, run you over racial violence feels as close as at hand as the pearl to the republic from fake facts and revisionist history. This convergence of circumstances keep him perpetually on book tour. With the breadth of his scholarship and expanse of his reach, Kendi has compared to the famed late historian John Hope Franklin, except he wear his locks long and his edges laid. He used to fantasize about a career in the NBA, or at the very least on SportsCenter. He'll hit you back on Twitter. Just so you know, black people are not inherently better athletes than white people, Kendi says. We only think so because black people have not only been rendered inferior to white people, they've been rendered like animals and thus physically superior creatures. It's an old racist idea that helped justify African American suitability for back-breaking labor, medical experience, and the theft of our children. When we embrace this part of our identity, Kendi says, we don't understand. He wants to correct our misunderstanding. So he said, education, love, and exemplary black people will not deliver America from racism. Kendi say, racist ideas grow out of discriminatory policies, he argue, not the other way around. And if his new center can help identify and dismantle these policies in the USA and around the world, he believes we can start to eliminate racism as at least the very goal. So the reason why I read this article, this part right here, which I'm going to stop, which is, it goes on and on about him. But the reason why I'm going to stop right there and show you guys a tweet that he tweeted, and he removed it really fast too. He removed it. He deleted the tweet because he pretty much shot himself in the foot about it. So So he tweeted something about whites pretending to be minorities in order to get into college. Okay? And so he, let me see if I can find that tweet. He removed it. I think it's this one. He was like, I think this is the one. He said, here is their tortured line of thinking. When white applicants think they have an advantage by lying about being a person of color, then that means they do have an advantage, which that means structural racism doesn't exist. And then I guess Jack Posobiec, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He said, Ibram X. Kendi accidentally admits minority applicants have a better chance of getting into college. Deletes, and he removed tweets. So they lied about what I said to defend the lying of white college applicants. I don't know what he is talking about, but let me click on that Twitter thread, for example. So he said, references to buying or selling or trading or breeding or breaking black people. I guess I guess he's responding to Jack. Sorry, Jack, I can't pronounce your last name. When he said, I broke Kendi, he was like, reference to buying or selling or trading or breeding or breaking black people are a legacy of slavery, whether the white user realizes it or not. Oh, dear Lord. He should have found another reference point to assault or lie about me, since at that point, all he had were insults and lies. And then Christopher F. Rufo said, dude, you accidentally debunked your own theory, people made fun of you, and then you tried tweeting through it. That's not equivalent of resisting slavery, you idiot. And then Lydia, of course, one who bought me some tea. They bought me the teapot. She was like, take it and go. So pretty much he screwed up. He shot himself in the foot. And let me read this article right here that talks about it, where it broke down what happened. And it says, CRT scholar tweets survey showing American colleges favor minorities. Well, if you're Asian, by the way, then you're going to get discriminated against. And your application's going to get rejected because the fact that you're Asian, you're doing better than everybody else. So, bye. So, yeah. So, anyways, this article pretty much breaks it down. And it says, let me drink my tea again. Yummy. So, anyways, progressive author and critical race theorist Ibram X. Kendi posted something on Twitter that appeared to contradict his messaging that a structurally racist America exhibits racism in its current society, according to critics. Kendi allegedly posted an article which reported on a survey that found over a third of white students applying to colleges had lied about their ethnicity on their application to get accepted. It showed that about 3 in 4, or 70% of the white applicants who faked their minority status had their applications accepted. Yikes. Kendi, a Boston University professor who has also worked in conjunction with other universities across the country to promote his anti-racist activism, reportedly posted the article alongside text affirming the survey's finding. Kendi later deleted the tweet, but gave the following explanation of what he deemed was the tortured line of thinking he was alluding to. When white applicants think they have an advantage by lying about being a person of color, then that means they do have an advantage with that. Then means structural racism doesn't exist. He continued. They imagine white people are disadvantaged, while white people are on the higher end of nearly every racial disparity. They imagine black and native people have racial advantage. At the same time, black and native people are on the lowest and nearly every racial disparity. Shake my head. Then why in the fuck would they lie about being a minority? Why do whites lie about being minorities? So why do whites pretend and lie that they're minorities in order to get into universities if structural racism does exist? So I think his idea is that white people have a better chance of succeeding in life, when in fact Asians are getting rejected. We're not minorities, by the way. Okay, we're not minorities. I'm Cambodian, by the way. Well, you guys know. I'm Cambodian, and I think that I probably get rejected because the fact that I'm Asian. Okay? Whereas I think a black person or a Native American or a Latino or Latina or Latinx or whatever, or queer person will have a higher chance of getting accept it over me because I'm, I guess, a cis Asian female. So I guess, my oppression points is taken away because of the fact that I'm straight and Asian. Well, I can make the argument that I'm bisexual because I find men and women gorgeous. But even then, that doesn't matter. Rejection. Done. Because the fact that my oppression, I guess me in the hierarchical oppress meter or whatever, the points, I don't score high enough for it. Okay? So anyways, critics argue that Kendi inadvertently admitted minority applicants have a better chance of getting into college. And critics of Kendi argue his anti-racism work promotes planting the concept of critical race theory into schools. He spoke to leaders from Charlotte Mecklenburg School in June. According to the Charlotte Observer, Kendi addressed more than 800 district and school leaders focused on a platform of anti-racism and diversity. Kendi argues the term has been made up. Pundits and politicians have created their own definition for the term and said about attacking it. He wrote an op-ed by The Atlantic. So, yeah, he pretty much shot himself in the foot. And, and that's pretty much what he did. And, yeah, never more than 3-4, yeah. So, he posted this, then deleted it after realizing he just debunked his life worth in one tweet. Unfortunately. So, and then Kendi, he responded, and he was like, you can deny your own lies, so this is how you respond. By the way, white enslavers boasted of breaking black people when they did not break black people. What's your argument? What's your argument that you're trying to make? Is that Jack is a white slavery owner? I don't think Jack owns any slave whatsoever. The reason why you said that, Kendi, is because the fact that he's white. You think every white person is a slave owner. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? My husband's white, so is he a slave owner of me? I run this house, okay? I'm the owner of this house. So, what are you making? And this is what I'm talking about. These ideas that people like Kendi makes. And they get paid for it, mind you guys. This guy makes millions of dollars passing these ideas around. And he infects things. And then he does a disservice to black Americans. And the reason why I make this argument, and I'm not black, I don't have the power, I don't have live experience or anything like that, but he does a disservice. Kendi does a disservice to black Americans because he makes it seems that white people are the ones after them at all times. In Kendi's brain, he lives in the fucking 1950s and 60s and shit. While black Americans have so much power now. But he doesn't seem to see it. Because he makes money off of it. He makes money off of black Americans' misery. Does that make sense? And the reason why I make that argument is the fact that when I come across black Americans in my, when me living in the real world, not like Kendi, who lives in a university bubble, man, they're hardworking. They're fucking hardworking. Black Americans are freaking hardworking people. Okay? And I haven't come across one, I shouldn't talk about like in a person, I guess, but in my experience, living out in the real world, I come across black supervisors. I come across black CEOs. I had many black supervisors, black coworkers. Like, I have never heard them say that, oh, my coworker who's white, he's a slave owner. Like I said, these people live in a fucking bubble. They don't live in the real world. They don't, yeah, So anyways, he said, breaking black people when they did not break black people. Since I suspect you claim you are not racist, you should find another word to project what you think your lying did to me. Like, it really blows my mind. Like, what is he saying? I'm now claimed to be an undocumented Hispanic. Oh, man. Yeah, so it's like, he always, when you call out Kendi, he always say you're taking everything that I say out of context, or you are misinterpreting what I say, or you're just spreading misinformation about my work, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just like, dude, you pretty much just shot yourself in the foot. You pretty much just tore your whole entire workload down. Not workload, but your entire work down when you said that structural racism doesn't exist. You know, in that one tweet, you just destroyed yourself. So, I don't know. What? Let me read this one. It says, I worked for a top-ranked law school. Diversity is integral. Integral to the ranking and minorities. 100% are given priority in admission and grants regardless of academic performance or LSAT scores. For the school to retain its top-tier rank, it had to meet diversity requirements. Ah, man. I mean, you have to, like, you know, be like a person of color. Like, I mean, like Elizabeth Warren, for example, she lied about being like 1% Native American for some fucking odd reason. God, these people. It's so sad. Like, you guys want, you know, I'm not on video or anything like that, but it's just so freaking sad that they have to lie to get into universities. What has our society become? You know, and, you know, even I, I'm not the smartest Asian in the world, okay? Something happened along the way of my development process. Possibly dropped out as a baby. I don't know. But, you know, I grew up in poverty. Ate government cheese. Been shot at, you know, worked shitty jobs and stuff like that. And do you think that I'm going to be able to get into top universities like Harvard and stuff like that? Maybe, possibly. But I've accepted that, you know, hey, you know, I don't need to fucking go to Harvard for any of that stuff. I mean, I'm not the top ranking person. I'm not saying that, you know, you should just accept that you can't be an Elon Musk or a Mark Zuckerberg or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that, you know, I just accept myself as is. You know, I'm not going to lie. Statistics and stuff like that, that, you know, the reason why that I'm not succeeding is because of a fucking white slave owner or something. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. That's what Kendi is saying. Instead of figuring out why black applicants are not getting accepted into universities and stuff like that. Sorry, that was my kid. And then just start blaming it on white people. It doesn't really solve anything. Instead, let's work harder to figure out why African Americans are not in the information technology, you know, round. Why black Americans are not doing so-and-so. Instead of just saying, oh, it's because the white man's structural racism is the problem. And sure, you can make the argument that, yeah, it did exist. I get that. You know, during the 50s and 60s and stuff like that, when you think about, you know, Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King and what blacks have to go through, segregation and stuff like that. But that's not the world that we live in today, guys. It's reality. Let's go in the real world, and you will see how much black Americans have succeeded in our society today. But for some odd reason, people like Kendi thinks that they're not. And this guy holds a position at Boston University, a prestigious university, and yet, in his mind, anybody that criticizes him that it's white, it's a white slave owner of some sort. He's fucking racist. It's like he's racist. That's what it is. He's racist against white people. But you can't be racist against white people. You can't, because of the hierarchy of their oppress, you know, charts, or, you know, I don't know. It's just really really sad that that's the case. But yeah, I mean, if Kendi posted this, I guess this article by The Hill, more than a third of white students lie about their race on college application. Sorry, Kendi, you pretty much debunked yourself. And, you know, you talk about structural racism. When I was in university, it was pretty much very diverse. I saw Black Americans, I saw white Americans, I saw Asian Americans, I saw Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans. Everybody was together. And like I said, this is what I'm talking about, where Kendi doesn't live in reality. And so he spew all this garbage and stuff like that just to keep a seat. I'm not saying that's exactly what he's doing, but in theory, I'm assuming that why not? Let's just, just make up shit to keep your freaking job. So, yeah. Anyways, that was really, really, I felt bad for the guy. He said you lied, then repeated proof that you told the truth. Imagine being pressured to pass as different race to obtain privilege of access. The reason schools require inclusive process to begin with. Black coats, grandfather clauses. I don't know, you're... What? Redlining, urban renewal. You're not debunked, Dr. Ibram. You simply choose strategies that quite southern. Oh, yeah. And it's a white person, too. Is it a white person? Let's click on his profile. Yeah, it's a white person. These white liberals, I swear to God. And it pretty much, yes, and Kendi just pretty much block everybody that's, saying things to him, meaning things to him. But, yeah, I really, it's sad. It's really, really, really sad that, sorry, I'm reading this. It's not easier for minorities to get into college. Government offers scholarship grants to folks to eliminate the problem over time. P.O.C. is oversimplifying complex problem that requires nuanced solution. Kendi is describing people short-circuiting the attempt at long-term solution, which is he makes a good argument too. So, but I don't know why he said that it's not easier for minorities to get into college. Like, wasn't there a lawsuit where a chick was rejected? I don't remember that story where she was rejected from going to college because of the fact that she was white, and she was not chosen because of the fact that she was white. She took it to court. I don't know if she won that. And I believe there were black applicants that got above her, even regardless of SAT scores, from my understanding, but something like that. So, oh my God, here's another white liberal. Why would any human being ever boast of breaking another human being? Oh, okay. I'm done. So, like I said, I get it. I get the argument that, where the mindset that Kendi's coming from, Black Americans being rejected from working, being used as, experiments, stuff like that. Not even being able to go to school and stuff like that. I get that. But sorry, Kendi, you just don't live in that time anymore. So anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And like I said, I have a podcast called the Fire Wisdom Podcast. You can find my information at firewisdom.podbean.com. I am on Instagram, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just put Boonham, and pretty much I'll pop up. So anyways, I do have a Patreon right there. Here's my information on your screen if you guys want to support my work. And make sure you guys leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, stuff like that. So you guys follow, leave a review, hit the like button on this video, subscribe, and things like that. It really helps if you guys like my commentary. And I like I said, I try to approach things in a very nuanced way as much as I can. And try not to allow my political bias to get in the way of things. And I like I said, I get where Kendi's coming from, because I believe his parents were activists. I mean, he grew up in 1984, and even during the 80s and 90s, for Black Americans, it was really bad. But like I said, we have made a big strive for change, for progressivism and stuff like that for Black Americans and civil rights. And yeah, Black Americans have suffered, inhumane conditions and stuff like that, and they possibly still do, but I think it's a little bit mixture of, what's going on in reality, just like Kendi thinks every white person is a fucking slave owner or something like that, to in the real world, like me, who goes, if you come to California, for example, you see a very diversified university campus, you know, and so I don't know. It just really, I feel bad for the guy. You know, he just owned himself and he had to remove the tweet. So, but, yeah, I mean, poor guy. It's like, poor guy. He just pretty much just destroyed himself. And like I said, he seems like a good guy. I'll drink coffee with him. You know, I'll drink some tea with him. You know, Kendi, if you want to have some tea with me and come on my podcast and we can talk about stuff, by all means. So anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And like I said, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that fucking like button. As always, guys, stay far out.